Out of here, honky.
Now for something completely different.
Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin.
Yeehaw! I just crap my pants. I've got moves, man.
All right, Jared's gonna get his moves on this weekend. It sounds like.
Yeah.
With that fresh shave.
Slick.
That he's got a fade on his booty now, so he's
Yeah.
good to go.
It's more
Oh my
aerodynamic.
God. Right back into it, baby.
It is April
Coming in hot.
28th. How's it going, guys?
Going good, man. It's almost. I mean, it's May. Like we're staring at the barrel of summer right now.
Halfway there, dude. It was in the 80s today, right? I mean, the real feel was at least.
Yeah, it felt muggy today too, a little bit.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah.
Must a thunderstorm this afternoon, but I don't think it ever hit. At least not here. It rained a little bit, but no.
It's been windy. It's been windy. Like the wind is giving it. Like it don't feel 80 at time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was out. Addie had soccer yesterday, and just that breeze just kept hitting me. I was like, I'm a little chilled.
Yeah.
It don't take
Got
much
that
for
cool
me
chill.
though. Yeah, they're.
That's
All
cool,
right.
chill feel.
And let me pull up let me yank this. There we go. I was ill prepared today. There we go.
Ill prepared.
All right.
Starting the wheel immediately.
That's right. All right. Fun.
I know nothing about this.
Kevin, you kind of brought it up. I know a little bit about it, but basically the new CDC guidelines indicate that if you've been vaccinated and are outside, you do not need to wear a mask.
And yeah, and then basically my whole point was like, wasn't that everybody was doing anyway?
Yeah, well, I think
outside.
it was.
Dude.
I think it's more along the lines of being in a group, in a group
Yeah,
setting.
in a group setting. So I mean, this came out yesterday.
Yeah.
I heard it. It was a Biden post basically, and they had Fauci on there talking about if you're vaccinated, you should be more comfortable being outside in a group setting with people. So I wonder if we'll see more venues, outdoor venues and stuff like that open up for comedy shows, sporting events and stuff like that. See if the capacity level goes up.
Just a quick, per the CDC guidelines, if you've been fully vaccinated, you can gather indoors with other fully vaccinated people without wearing a mask. You can gather indoors with unvaccinated people.
Look at Blake Phillips look good away. I can't wait for him to talk for some reason.
From one household without masks are staying 6 feet apart. Unless any of those people or anyone they live with has an increased risk. You can gather or conduct activities outdoors without wearing a mask except certain crowded settings and venues. If you travel in the United States, you do not need to get tested before or after travel or self-quarantine. You need to pay close attention to the situation at your international destination before traveling outside. You do not need to get tested before leaving the United States. You still need to show a negative test result or documentation of recovery before boarding an international flight to the United States. You should get tested 3 to 5 days after international travel. You do not need to self-quarantine after arriving in the U.S. If you've been around someone who has COVID, you do not need to stay away from others or get tested unless you have symptoms.
So no tracing anymore, contact trace if you've been vaccinated.
Sounds like if you've been vaccinated, it's
So this is only if you've been vaccinated, right?
Yes.
And this is why I was telling people I was getting the vaccine, because I felt like they were going to do this. Like you're going to be allowed to do stuff basically that other people can't do. You know
I mean,
what I'm saying?
there are probably going to be countries that won't let you even in the country without some sort of vaccine card. Like it's not just like the U.S. like demanding a vaccination.
We're okay with this.
Go to Mexico, and that's probably about it.
Kevin is okay with this. Why is it not okay? Like,
I just think it's crazy that they're making you put something in your body and to be able to just have freedom. That's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to tell me, like, you're going to blackball me because I don't want to get a vaccine shot just like I don't get a flu shot, right? Like, you're literally telling me what I could put in my body. And then you send people to jail for putting stuff in their body that you don't agree with. Like, because if it's an illegal drug or something, right? Like, I mean, I know that's a whole nother topic, but it just hit my head there. But so I don't know. I mean, I'm not really against it, I guess, if it helps everyone, but I just think it's crazy. That
I guess I got two.
It's important to remember. It's not, the government isn't saying this. This is CDC guidelines. The government's not. Our government hasn't demanded anything yet. However, it's because even Biden's come out and said, I'm going to leave it up to private venues to make these decisions. So if Ticketmaster comes out and says, to come to one of our concerts, you need to have something saying you're vaccinated, there you go. The government's got nothing to do with that.
Right.
Then I guarantee
just making a stipulation.
But I guarantee you the majority of the people are over this. Like they're not. They will just not go to Ticketmaster. They'll be like, okay, fine. Then we just won't go to the concerts. And then that's going to hurt the artists or the musicians or the comedians or whatever. Therefore, they won't. They're just, I really think this is all about the shift to where everyone just does their own thing.
Why would they? People are yearning for something to do. So why would they just stop? They want to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's the same to me as buying a pay-per-view. You don't have to buy the pay-per-view, right? But you want to buy the pay-per-view. They get enough pay-per-view buys to fund whatever you're watching. So it's the same thing. Like where else are you going to see another live sport? You got to go through one of these venues. You got to go through one of these. The same with comedy shows. Same as
what I'm saying is people just won't go. People already don't go to basketball games. Right. If you're going to make
people stop going to basketball games before this hit, so
Let's take don't say the NBA in it.
I think it's all sporting events. To be honest with you, but I think it's all down. But still, I just, especially with it becoming so political, you're just going to have. I mean, so many people don't watch the NBA just because it's become so political. It has nothing to do with the talent. Right. It's because too many of them are speaking. And a lot of people in those households don't want their kids hearing that perspective, for whatever reason, So, I don't know, man. Like I said, this is going to become another big debate,
So people aren't going to travel. That's what I'm saying. Like people want to travel. People want to see things. People are bored inside of their house. All you have to do is get a shot. If you don't believe it or not, the only person that's going to be inconvenienced is you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. Like, I'm not going to argue with you guys, blah, blah, blah. Because, okay, so what happens when a parent doesn't want a child to have a tetanus shot? Like, what happens in that situation? They just don't go to school?
I think there are certain shots you have to get when you're, like, in 5th or 6th grade. That if you don't get it, you just can't be in that school or at school in period.
Right. So, so I compare it to the same thing. Like, we make our kids to put it in their body. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've heard that argument where it's just like, hey guys, we're already, doctors are putting stuff in your body, and people are getting different types of shots to maybe travel or definitely to go to school. But I don't know. I part of me is because it is new. I mean, no one. It's just I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I think it's the newness. It's the newness that shies people away. Like people, like even I said it at first. Like I don't want to be the first person, but it's like hey, they tested it on somebody, like, and at a point to where my faith is like, hey, I'm gonna die from something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess where I've just gotten with it, and I probably have said this all along, is that they have made things so extreme. Like they have made the rules, they have made things. I mean, like I've said 15 times, like the amount of people that lost their jobs because the way this was handled, it's a crime. Like it's literally because specific people think this is the best for everybody's interest. They demanded something, therefore it caused a lot of brokenness, right? And I mean, more than the deaths of it. So even like at the beginning, we were talking about like, if you're vaccinated, you can now be outside without a mask. Like, do you realize the percentages that we're talking about of being able to get COVID outside in the sun?
Mhm.
Like, it's such a small percentage that it drives me crazy that is such a big deal. Like that, I mean, I just don't get it, man. Like, I see people every day walking outside in the sun with the mask on. I'm like, you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning while it's sunny out than getting this stupid disease. You know, I mean, that's the stuff that I know I always go back to it, but it just irritates me.
I think the other key point is and the one thing that you keep saying is you have a less chance of getting this, but it's not about you, it's about the community as a whole, right? You keep saying but it's like all it takes is that one person to get it, right? And then next thing you know, it hits other people that did not make that decision. You made that decision for them. And I think that's the whole point, is like you're making a decision for other people by not doing the things that are necessary to protect. So now other people are paying the consequences.
And look, and I get that. And I mean, that's a good point. I guess it makes me, I try not to look at it as a selfish point of view, but maybe I am, you know, because I obviously care about everybody, but I guess I just think then they should stay home.
Yeah,
they should mask up.
That's not fair either, because now you're saying how
they
someone
should not be able to
by
travel.
themselves. They sit there by themselves, have no interaction with anybody at all. Is that
okay? But
so if my
then
wife goes for a walk, right, and she magically is not wearing her mask, and then she goes and gets COVID, right, because she has a household of 4 now, right? She just can't go out and do anything. Like it just doesn't.
But that's what you're doing.
Mass discrimination.
But that's exactly what you're doing to those. That's exactly what you're doing to those that decide to not go get vaccinated. You have to stay home, even though you're healthy.
You don't have to stay home. You just can't go to the Led Zeppelin concert,
which is silly in itself.
You go to the bar,
Which is silly in itself.
You can't do other things.
Why couldn't I go to?
Right. I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to tell you to sit at home in isolation. Right. If you don't want to partake in humanity, don't partake in humanity. Just don't.
But
do
I
it.
do. But just by me getting a shot, I know we're not arguing. We're playing devil's advocate and whatnot, but
it's technically like you said, like they're pushing over to this side. So we want you to be vaccinated to keep everybody safe in that venue, right? So
which I get,
like,
I get that simplicity of it, and hey, that's the sure way, right? Like everyone gets vaccinated, but we don't know what what's in this. We just had a guy had to take 3 days off of work because he was like, I got the shot, and dude, I was in bad shape, and he was an older gentleman. I mean, he very well, right? So it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've said 100 times, I'm for the good of everybody, obviously, but then again, it's like I don't like something being forced on me or my children, or when there's this. Dude, this is new. Like, we're the test run for this. We're the little mice. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know if I like that.
I don't know. I was reading something the other day because someone did bring up that point. And these COVID shots are actually the most tested vaccination in the history of mankind.
Really? And I'm sure of that. Like it's not that I don't have faith in the system, and I don't think I'm gonna grow a third ear by getting vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many people that take it to the extreme. Sure. I don't like this. I think this is maybe it. I don't like us being so comfortable allowing powerful, rich people to tell
control
us
us.
what we have to do. That's what I don't like. Right? This is baby steps. This is
Right.
how they see how much
But,
they
I
can
mean,
get out of us.
isn't that every day? I mean, you go on YouTube and they're telling you what to watch. It's everywhere.
Well, that's suggestions.
Yeah.
That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's, yeah.
And we're suggesting that you get a vaccine if you want to go to Led Zeppelin concert.
I ain't gonna go to Led Zeppelin. You're gonna have to pick a different band.
You
I was
wanna-
trying to make
If
something
you want
fun.
to see Eminem or,
That's right.
You should at least, said NF or something.
but I do understand and I get it, but like they control everything. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you wake up in the morning, it's it's go time.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I totally get what you're saying though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it makes you think like, we always talk about how much freedom we have, but it's like, how much freedom do we
Wow.
have?
yeah, it's
right?
what
I mean-
it's what you're allowed to do,
Yeah, we have
not
limits. We have
what
speed
you
limits.
want to do. Yeah.
We have speed limits. We have rules. We have, I mean,
Right.
I don't know. It's, I mean, it's actually kind of an interesting, another topic on that. It's like how free did it used to be? Right? I mean, look, no different than drugs or alcohol. Right? I mean, for the longest time, we couldn't buy alcohol on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
And now you can up until 8 o'clock, because apparently after 8 o'clock, Jesus said you can't have alcohol. I don't know where that rule came from, right? So it's like, but that became, and now that's a little bit more loose, I guess. The whole
Right.
alcohol law. But it's like, it makes you wonder, whatever, in the 20s, in the 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like, when did the laws become the laws, I guess, and how did they get changed and bettered? It's just, it's obviously history, but
I would say it was more strict back then, right? So you're less free, right?
I don't know.
I mean,
I think
Are
it
we
we
more
depends
didn't have the right.
the subject, right? Because it's, I mean, I feel like in some instances, like gun laws were a lot less strict, but then you had alcohol laws, and then, prostitution was, legal back then, but it's not
Mhm.
really anymore, although it probably will be soon. I don't know. Maybe we just go in waves.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
yeah. Until we decide to cancel something,
Yeah.
we say,
Well,
we say it's not good for us.
I think too, it's like it's important to note that it's not right. The vaccine is not a legal issue. It's,
Right.
It's a person. It's people mandating themselves, and which that all goes to like where they always talk about. I don't know. What was the book called? 1984, like Big Brother,
Mhm.
where like we're going to be self-policing so much that we might as well not even have government kind of deal.
Right.
Is that what we're doing right now?
Well, I mean, yeah,
I
that's where they talk about like cancel culture and
Right.
deplatforming and all that, and everybody's got a phone now, so everything's being recorded, and we're tattling on each other constantly. It's the same kind of concept, right? Where we don't need government to make laws because people are making laws, in these ways. Like you can't say these things, you can't say certain things, and some things are okay. Yeah, you can't say that, but it's to a degree where you will lose your job, you will lose your livelihood, and you will, if you say those things or do those things, right? Same thing with the vaccination. You don't get vaccinated, then you can't go to these events.
Mhm.
So, I think it's just, I don't know. I part of me wonders if it's just evolution.
Right.
Because
I mean, it's like being cattle, right? Like those
Yeah.
cows and sheep can walk there, but the dog keeps them in line, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not the
And
government.
if the dog's not there, they're gonna do whatever they want to do.
Richie, how you said, it's just evolution. Like I've thought about that a lot too, because it's like my parents couldn't raise me the way that their parents raised them because it was different.
Mhm.
Our parents couldn't raise us the same way, right? It was different. It's just different now, Blake. I don't, right? Same thing. I mean, I tell my dad all the time, it's just different now, Dad. They got connections, they got phones, right? It's so yeah. So
It's even the
it makes
type
you-
of punishments, right? Because it's like I would go, when my kids go to grandma and grandpa's, they'll tell them back in your mom's day, You know,
Yeah.
she'd get a butt whipping for that.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
don't
yeah.
get that, you know.
Yeah. But see, that's what I don't get about today, because people will be like, well, you can't hit them now. Well, why can't you? I mean, not hit, spank, right?
Because-
Why can't you?
Because I think it's what other people think.
Right. I mean,
Like
it's just
I'm totally being honest with you. I was blessed to have a child that I didn't have to put my hands on. Like
Right.
seriously, but I think it's everybody thinks like everything's abuse anymore. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Everything.
Yeah.
So and like you can see it with the way people raise their kids. Like you can tell that they're afraid of their child. You know, more than anything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like blessed, dude. Blessed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Because
I needed those whoopings when I was a kid. I needed that.
yeah, I'm sure I got a few. Like, I do, honestly, I just remember it was more my mom saying, "I'm gonna tell Dad when he gets home," and then, right, and so it was more of the fear, and I mean, my wife and I kind of differ on how you parent sometimes, and I'm not, I don't want to spank them,
Right.
but I'm very much more I've had enough. I'm putting down the hammer. Everyone stop. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
right.
I mean, that's kind of how my dad was. That's how he still is. If all the grandkids are acting up,
Yep.
here comes Dad.
That's the role of, as a father. That's how I find my role in the house too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the mom is nurturing and kind, and the dad's like, knock that shit out.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So it's, yeah. I mean, the other day, my son, he decided to wear flip flops and go on a bike ride, and well, that did not.
Looking like Kevin.
Yeah. Of course, his flip flop got stuck in the spoke, and
Ooh.
yeah, and so he hurt himself, and I was more like, well, that's kind of what you get,
Yeah.
and I handled it completely different. If mom would have been there, it would have been hugs and tears and are you okay?
Yeah.
Mine was like, go to the bathroom and get bandaged up, and
Right.
that's what you get. Don't do that again.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yep.
So, and then I inspected it and make sure it wasn't broken or anything, but yeah, it was just like, dude, what are you doing?
Yep.
I think we are the empty threat generation. Like so many empty threats. I'm gonna come up there and do this, and like it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've seen my friends do it, and it's like it's no follow through.
It just seems to get softer and softer, and,
Yeah.
and I've heard it from
Yes.
military. I've heard it, who's signing up to be a police officer?
Nah.
Right? Like, no one wants that job right now. I mean, can
Nah.
you imagine this gap right now? I mean, this
Nah.
next 10, I can't imagine too many people wanting to go do that job,
Right.
and military and, and all that. So, I don't know, man. It's, we'll see.
Ready?
Spin it.
All right.
Man, I thought we had nothing today.
I know, right? Oh, man. Jake
Whatever,
Paul.
Pa.
I'm gonna let you guys take the wheel on this one because I'm not a fan and I don't understand why people are. Like, I understand the attraction. But him as a person, I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's easy to sit there and say, well, he's got a lot of money, and then my response is, well, he's still gonna be 10 feet underground at the end of the day, just like me. So I mean,
Right.
it's just, I don't know, man. He comes off as a huge scumbag and just not a good person. And so that to me is like, I'm fine with people illegally streaming your shit because, I mean, you're not a good person and you come across that way. And I mean, you've got like a rape allegation against you. You've got sexual assault to a minor against you now. You've got, I mean,
Yeah, he declined all those, of course, but
yeah.
I mean, to me, I think it's just this silly entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's trolling. I mean, he even said that on the Air Hawani. He's like, you guys have to understand that, like, I'm a troll. Like, I am an internet troll. Like, this is what I do. And so I know what he's doing. He's doing what Conor McGregor did when he came on the scene, right? Like, you're just talking trash, you're picking fights, he is building a brand, he is building business. So I don't know how much of that is him being a douchebag or whatever, or how much of it is just entertainment. I'm slightly entertained by it. I mean, obviously, I'm clicking on interviews and stuff, but to me, it's just more of the it's more of the outliner of it, right? It's more of the like, wow, how did this dude do this? How did he manipulate his way to where he is the most popular fighter in the world, right? Like everyone knows this guy, Jake Paul, and it's like, and now he's picking his shots. He's picking who he's going to fight. And then these MMA guys' egos are just so big, and he's just sitting there just poking at them, just having fun with them, and they're losing their crap because they know that they could beat him, but he's just, I don't know. It's so WWE. That's why I thought you would kind of be into it, Richard.
I mean, yeah, it's entertaining as a spectacle, but just him as a person is just, it really is what just makes me not care.
Right. No, I understand.
It is a total Jerry Springer circus, and the people that should be embarrassed is boxing and the UFC, because this dude came and he took money from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he took money from you. Like, how is it that he's so successful and you're not? You're not promoting the guys you need to promote, and he's just doing whatever he wants. Now, I think what I get most frustrated about and mad about is just the credibility. Like, we know he's fighting bums, and this because we watch fighting and MMA as a sport.
Right.
But the whole world think that this guy is legit. They believe in this guy. They love this guy. Dude, we watched the UFC pay-per-view. He stole the show. He stole the show on the best night of fights ever.
Yeah.
He stole the show. He was he's drawing people's attention, and I am he should be proud of it. He's not a legit athlete.
I don't know why Dana White doesn't say, okay, you want to box? I'll let you box in the octagon. Take your pick. You want Conor? All right. I'll give you $10 million, Jake. No questions asked. And I'll give you pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
Sign him. Tyrone Woodley. Boxing only.
Because it makes them money, too. It makes the UFC money, too.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows who that dude is at this point. That whole Ben Askren fight thing was, it was mad. So it just, I don't know. It's just crazy. And there's nothing going on in sports right now.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah. And it's just
perfect.
It's just amazing. It's amazing he's taking headlines.
Yeah, and his brother is 0-1 and about to fight Floyd.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's the one I don't get.
That's just like me, like Floyd coming in, hey, you guys doing the podcast? Who wants to fight me for, $10 million? Yeah. Me? Let's go.
They at least train and they're taking it serious or whatever. But it's but what it is just what if fights. What if Logan catches him? What if this bigger, stronger, more powerful guy finally hit? What happens when a big, strong guy hits Floyd? Floyd doesn't get hit. That's what's fun. So you think this big dude who's going to be so much slower than anything Floyd has ever had to face is going to hit Floyd? No. Right. It's stupid. It's just.
But we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it.
I know. I can't wait.
We're going to watch it. And I don't care. I'm with Richard. I'm going to stream your stuff because you do not deserve my money.
Even though we're so entertained by it,
you do not deserve my money.
Even though we chose to watch that over a UFC fight that night, because Whitaker and Kevin Gastelum fought that night, and that was a really good fight.
Yeah.
But anyways, spin the wheel.
All right.
What's this?
Interview. I think Kevin suggested this, but was it for Blake?
It was for Blake.
All right, we know you can't talk much about it.
Yeah, we know you're that.
And that's
how are you getting ready for this right now?
Yeah, I think that's the main focus here. We don't want to know where or who or how. We want to know.
No. Well, you said interview. I was kind of confused. I get it. No, sorry. I was like,
tell the interview, buddy.
Yeah.
This is the interview.
Yeah. I was like, so y'all about to give me an interview? What's going on? No. Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on it, before, that there was a operations manager position open at my company. So I'm actually getting interviewed Friday for it. They've had some guys come in this week, and I looked at my boss today, and I go, I don't know why you're wasting your time talking to those dudes. I go, I'm your guy. So I kind of ran the place last week because basically the assistant branch manager who was running operations right now, he was on vacation. So I felt like I did, pretty good job. I'm definitely getting a better understanding of everything, and I don't know. I have more confidence to where I can, go in there and, kind of sell myself. And I mean, I've given them some time to know my character and my work ethic and all that, So if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I'm just gonna just keep working and see what happens. They're thinking about doing something on the south side, so maybe that might work out in the future or something. But
So sorry.
so yeah, so that's it. So yeah, so it's a operations manager position. So
Nice. So it looks like
yippee.
you're getting experience kind of running it right now, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in operations. I mean, once again, I started off as sales support specialist, and then some people got fired and person quit, so I got moved into operations, and then I just been, excuse me, just kind of learning that part of stuff. And I mean, I have relationships with everybody in that place, so I mean, I feel good about that, which I think I touched on a couple weeks ago. But so yeah, it's just once again, it's just doing the job right and doing it good, and you know, showing them who I am, I guess.
Yeah. You think you're good at interviews? Anything make you nervous?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of told me that they're gonna ask, more like, you know, tell me about a time you were stressed out at work, which,
Mhm.
they're just trying to figure out,
When the
how
guy didn't like work there?
yeah, I'm like every day when that a-hole sat behind me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, dude, oh my god, I found out some stuff this week, dude, made me so mad. He was running his mouth about me, dude. Oh man, it got my blood boiling. I had to turn it off, brother. I was, yeah. It shows me everything I knew about that dude. So, anyways, enough of that guy.
So
Um,
you know some of the questions. Are you allowed to take notes with you?
I don't know.
I would
I'm
ask.
hanging.
I would ask.
You should. I've never not taken a notepad to an interview.
Yeah, at
See,
least
I'm
at
so
least something.
notepad.
Yeah, where you can write bullet points on there.
That's what I do every interview.
really. See,
Yeah.
I'm so bad at that because I just like to just wing it. I like to just express myself. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. My
I,
thing is there may be times where you get kind of nervous or you kind of forget something, and you can look down at your bullet point real quick and then
right.
remember. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really there for you to use per se, but it's more of a safeguard, And also, you can write down questions you want to ask them, because I think the thing important, and a lot of people don't do this. It's just as much as you interviewing them as them interviewing
You're
you.
right.
You need to interview them to make sure that you want the job.
Right.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's a
you
good
want to know
point.
an expectation also
Yep.
of what they
Right.
want. What they want from you.
Yep. So
Right.
they ask if you have any questions. I always write my questions down on my notepad too. So I have bullet points of what I want
Yeah.
to talk about, and then I have bullet points of what questions I want to ask, and hopefully that'll be good for you.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good advice. I'll have to do that. I haven't
Also,
done
be
too many of these
prepared.
job interviews, so
Yeah, be prepared if they ask. How are you going to feel managing your peers, like people you already work with? Because I feel like I've been asked that a lot.
I'm gonna say I'm already doing it.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, you got to
like
say it a good way though, not
I'm.
not offensive.
I'm saying, I mean,
Right,
proof's in the pudding. I'm already doing it. Like, I mean,
right,
just I'm not managing a whole lot of people, but I mean, just keeping track of the drivers, keeping them busy, and
right.
talking with the shop guys if I need to, and yeah. So, but yeah, I that's the one thing I guess I'm excited about is that I do have things that I'm already doing that I can point in that direction of like, look, these are just natural things that I'm already doing that I think will be a big strength for this position. My not only my relationships that I have with everybody, but my my encouragement, I mean, besides the work ethic and all that of me always being on time, and I mean, there's always those little bullet points I can throw out, but I did want to write some examples of like what I would like to do in operations to better it.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And speaking of, that's something else that I think I can also add. So look, I'm already doing these things. Like when I came in here not knowing anything, this really wasn't in place, and now I'm getting drivers in and out of here within 5 to 10 minutes, and that's unheard of.
Yep.
A lot of drivers come and they're expecting that's going to be their break, their 30-minute break. I mean,
Right.
I mean, I literally had a guy in and out today. I mean, trailer, paperwork, everything done. He pulled up, backed up, and he was out, and he was just like, "Wow!" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, "I knew you were coming, so I had you ready." Just so yeah. So I'm just trying to do little things like that. But I got you, man.
And it's little things like that those people will do stuff for you, like you're backed up. Hey, I'm away from him because he always hooks me up.
Dude, I have drivers. I mean, you know how drivers look. I mean, just the raggedy looking dudes, but they're so happy to see me. Like, "Hey, buddy," or they're giving me crap, or whatever. It's just so yeah. So I don't know, man. I hope that's showing. And maybe I need none of that for this position, but I'm
But maybe they need you to be there too. It's a new freshness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like something people aren't used to. It's like a bright spot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Different kind of leadership.
Honestly, since the black cloud of the company left, I mean, I can't even explain to you how different it is. Like everybody, the teamwork, the communication, everything. It really showed me what a bad apple can do to a company, man. Like it really.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Using the whole bunch. Is that what they say? One bad apple in the bunch can poison the rest of them.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Well, we wish you luck. We'll know you'll do. We know you'll do good, man. We'll be celebrating.
Good luck. Yeah.
All right, I hope so.
Take those
Appreciate
notes.
it, guys.
Prepare.
Notes.
You'll be
notes,
good.
Notes. All right, appreciate it, boys.
Joe.
Oh God.
Rogan MD. I'm gonna let Blake handle this whole thing.
I don't know anything about this.
Okay. So I mean I got this from TMZ. I was listening to TMZ while eating my hot box pizza today, and Joe Rogan was basically a highlight of it. I mean, Joe Rogan has probably the biggest podcast following, and what he says is golden to most people. But he basically was I don't know if it was advising or it sounds like more of a statement to me. Like he basically suggested, hey, if I'm going to be honest and somebody asks me and they're about 21 years old if they should take the vaccine or not, I'm going to tell them no. Basically. Do you guys think that's good advice or bad advice?
Joe Rogan's my doctor, so I think it's good advice. I take all the vitamins Joe Rogan takes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, I think every week there's someone is writing an article about something that Joe Rogan has said. So I don't even entertain it because I've heard that man speak so much that I know that he genuinely really does care for everybody and is trying to find answers to everything on this earth. I mean, his last two podcasts, I can't even. I mean, the stuff that they were talking about, I can't even spit out because I can't comprehend it. But just about China and just about, I mean, people that are doing the deep research of what's really going on in this nation. He's interviewing them, and it's just it's mind-boggling. But yeah, I mean, but besides that, Joe's been very up and down on this. I mean, he tests all of his guests. He's used to being tested. I think he looks at the numbers and he looks at how this does not really affect young kids. And if you don't need to be vaccinated, then don't be vaccinated. But I don't remember hearing him say that. But I guess it wouldn't surprise me if he said it.
Right. Richard.
Yeah, I like Joe Rogan. I like his stand up. I think he's great at UFC commentary. I'd love for him to see him in a WWE commentator booth. I like most of his podcast stuff, but I think too. I don't think Joe has quite the correct scientific facts about COVID and how it does affect younger people. I think I read a statistic today that said people between the ages of 20 and 50 are the top prime candidates to be hospitalized because of COVID. They're not necessarily the top deaths, but they're the top in the hospitalizations. So, and that's really what we report on, right, is deaths. So it's important to note that even though they're not dying, they're still getting it and they're still being hospitalized and they're still having to deal with the long-term effects. We know UFC fighters that are dealing with long-term effects. We know a few basketball players that have come out and said their shot hasn't been right. They haven't been able. Tatum has come out and said, I've had to take an inhaler since getting COVID. It is affecting young, healthy people. It is affecting young, healthy athletes that are athletic at high caliber. So I don't know if that, I don't know if him saying that is good in the grand scheme of things, because I think the overall thought here is right for protection, right? It's not necessarily do you need it. It's like, should you just go ahead and get it to protect yourself? Is the overall effects of COVID, while it may not kill you, right? I think there's a laundry list of long effects. And how we talk about how, well, we don't know what the shot will do in the long term. We know what COVID will do in the long term, right? We know people that had COVID 4, 5, 6 months ago that all of a sudden dropped dead from aneurysm because of the way it affected their blood. We do know that, and we've had people that have had this shot for almost a year now and are fine. So when we talk about, comparative studies, getting a shot is obviously a lot better than getting COVID and having to deal with long-term effects of it.
Yeah.
And also, I think the other important point is kind of what we alluded to earlier, Blake, was, and this is what bothered me about what Joe said, is he said you, right? It's just you, but it's not just you, it's the community. It's the attempt at preventing the spread of it. There's a new strand of it in India now that affects younger people at a higher rate now because people just let it run rampant. And that's the other point of trying to stop it. It's not just about getting COVID, and it's not just about you not getting sick. It's about protecting those around you and preventing the further mutation of it. So I don't know, like I said, I like Joe Rogan, but sometimes I think that if you have that big of a platform and you're going to take $100 million, and that's great, but you do have a moral obligation to ensure that the things that you are saying, are not of that ilk, that are just like, and to be fair, he did state if a 21-year-old were to ask me, this is what I would tell them. So he was just giving his opinion.
Right.
A lot of people listen to that opinion, and there's a lot of people that swear by that opinion.
Right, because it's the same as like when LeBron posted the wrong thing about the cop thing, right? Like you have an audience, a Main Street audience that people are taking, like, whether you like it or not, because I take Joe for what he is. Like, he's just bro science. You know what I'm saying? Like, but science. you have that platform that's the education that people are getting, and they're taking your word as bond. So you got to keep that in mind too. Because I don't think that he would say the same thing about, hey, Joe, should I wear condoms? Like, you're not going to say the same thing about that, right? Like, I don't think you might have a chance of getting something or getting somebody pregnant. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to give the same advice. And I know everything is new, and I like his opinion on a lot of things, but it's just an opinion, right? Like some people have difficulties separating an opinion from fact, I think.
Well, I mean, he obviously has Jamie there as producer, so I know they fact check a lot, and he has a lot of people on. So I don't know where he gets his stuff. I mean, he's always saying, "Man, I read this morning that this Jamie, look that up. Is that true?" Right. So that's why I feel like I think Joe consumes as much information as he can. and then he's talking to somebody, and he's just spitting. He's just like us. I've said 10 things today that I will go back and listen and be like, I don't know if I meant that or whatever, right? Like, you're just talking,
Richard,
now.
fact check that.
Yeah. But I do understand that he does have a platform, so he has to be careful. But I also say, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just a guy talking just like you and I. These are the opinions that he has formed.
Yeah, and that's why people are listening to him say it rather than somebody else. Like I like that part too. Like, I want it to be open like that. I just know that I'm separating. Not everything you say is fact, but not everybody sees it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and that probably comes with maturity, right? I mean,
yeah.
I've said it before. We are all influenced by whoever we listen to. It can be Bill Simmons talking about sports. If he makes an opinion about LeBron, hey, you know what? Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, so we do it with radio hosts, our pastors, our parents, our teachers. We do it with everyone, right? So, I mean, could you imagine fact checking like everything you hear? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're just gonna get a mixed bag. Like, you're gonna get 20 different opinions on anything anyway.
Yeah.
Even from the CDC, like, it's whoever you hear it from.
I do think Joe's going. I'm not gonna say Joe's going crazy, but he really is into like trying to figure out what's going on. Like, he's with the government, even with the aliens, and like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he is kind of, I mean, having some pretty good experts on. But
he's intensifying the show content towards that way. I think you're right.
Yeah, like
he's trying to find that's the thing. Deeper and stuff like.
Yeah, why are we forgetting about the sex island, and why is there nothing being done about that? Or, I mean, he hasn't brought that up in a while, but yeah.
But just look out. That's yesterday's news now,
dude. That was nothing. I mean, it was nothing. There was nothing. I mean, a guy got murdered in a jail cell, and then that chick got, I think, a slap on the wrist. I don't even know what happened to Gazelle or whatever the hell her name was.
Yeah, she'll probably be in jail forever.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It shows you what I know.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Final subject?
Sure.
Final subject.
Blake, I'm sorry.
What? More buttholes?
Oh, no. That was Joe Rogan.
How dare you? Well played.
So,
I can't read it.
Kevin, you watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, hang on. You're staring at my background. There we go.
My kids watch. Hold on. First of all, my wife and kids watch this show.
Uh-huh.
I have sat down and watched a couple episodes.
Okay.
I saw my boy GSP get killed, and I said,
look at Blake!
I said, this show is fake.
I'm so proud of you right
GSP
now.
does not lose. GSP does not. I was cheering for him so hard.
Yeah. He didn't get killed in the end, though, did he? Like, he never got killed.
I don't know. I just saw a little clip of him getting.
He always gets away.
Okay, I saw him get beat up.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even really get like he really didn't get beat up per se. I mean, he was beating the crap out of Sam both times, and then just kind of a stroke of luck, So.
And I'm amazed how they fit him into that part perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause even the speaking role, he's good. He's good. He fits that part.
Well, he was in the Winter Soldier movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool that they brought him back from like 10 movies ago.
Yeah. So you think he's doing good?
GSP?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love him in that role. He's great.
Yeah, I'm assuming all those moves are him doing it.
Oh, no doubt. He's a martial artist, right?
I know, but some of it seems so like sped up or whatever.
I would think that's him. I would think that's all him.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in agreement there. It's I'm sure they used wiring for some of it, but I think most of the fight scenes was him. I overall enjoyed the arc, Kevin. I think it was a little heavy-handed in the political realm.
Yeah, they went hard on that, man.
They did go super hard. I think some of the stuff was unnecessary to keep bringing up Steve Rogers as being the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
I think
come on, we know.
I honestly think it's because the Falcons character has been so forgettable in all these movies that they have to lay in heavy on the race arc, to be honest with you, to
Well,
build his character.
The
Isn't
race
that
arc,
every show now?
Yeah, it could be.
actually happened like in the 70s. Like this is
Yeah.
like an arc from the 70s, but they actually put a twist on it where in the 70s comics, Steve Rogers died and they wanted to make either Nick Fury or Falcon the new Cap. And they decided that America wasn't ready for a black Captain America.
Mhm.
And so they gave it to that one dude that they originally gave it to. So he was Cap for a while.
to Isaiah, yeah.
Yep, and then he ended up actually being a good guy, and throughout the whole thing, like he ended up joining like the West Coast Avengers and all kinds of stuff. So he was not as much of a douche. The other thing that kind of bothered me a lot was that it seemed to me people in general really just don't understand the mental fuckery that happens when you're in the military.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah,
That's a podcast right
and Blake,
there.
Blake, you probably watched enough of it to see how much stress and stuff those guys went through in that show, and there was a whole bunch of like military stuff that kind of messed them up to push them over to another side.
I mean, he was already mentally, you could kind of tell he was already kind of
Yeah.
mentally on edge. And
Mhm.
spoiler, but his partner gets killed in front of him.
Yeah,
And so then he goes off and kills some other dude. And so then it's a big fuck. It's a, like, oh, of course he shouldn't have killed the guy. But,
Yeah.
like, what do you expect? You train this dude for X amount of years to be a killer.
to be it.
Right.
Yeah,
So when I was in basic training, the one phrase I was taught was one shot, one kill.
yeah.
Center mass. Like, you were trained just to be a killing machine. So, I mean, I can only imagine what this guy went through. Like, I mean, of course, it's all, make believe, but at the same time, it's like, if you're making a character like that, then yeah, he's going to have the same mental.
Yeah, and he's gonna be twisted like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool to kind of see your perspective on that, because like I saw it a little bit, but like I can see how you would look more into, you know what I'm saying, to see that side of it.
Well, because, yeah, I mean, I have friends that I consider brothers
Right.
that are really messed up. And it's like, I mean, I just feel like as a whole, like, when you see the news articles about the character, about him being an incel and about him being, just whatever things they're throwing out nowadays, it's like, I understand this is fake, but if you're making that character to be this, then you have no idea what mental gymnastics this guy has to go through every day.
Mhm.
So,
Oh wow, so you really, that's interesting because Kevin just said it. Like, it's funny how it's hitting you a totally different way.
Then what the show hits him, and when it hits me, because I'm thinking about the race issues, he's thinking about the military aspect. That was really heavy in that show. Like,
See,
it's
I
really
don't,
cool.
yeah, I don't know the scene you're talking about or whatever, so it's hard for me to kind of relate to exactly what's going on.
Episode 4-ish. I don't know if
Yeah.
your kids are there yet.
But, yeah. So what you're saying, Richard, is that it upset you that it portrayed that they really have no idea mentally what's going on in
I think-
military.
I think it's less about how the show portrayed him versus how people interpreted it, right? Because like you watch it and you're like, well, and then like to me, I'm watching it like, wow, this dude's going through some shit. Like I understand, it's
Right.
sometimes going through daily
And then-
functions.
And then I'm looking at it as like the student's a freaking scumbag.
Yeah, but I'm,
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
yeah, I can see that, and
Yeah.
but like in the next day, I read these news articles and they're calling this dude an incel, and like I'm like, dude, this guy has saved the country probably multiple times, been put through mental gymnastics, and has been basically a murder machine for the country. Yeah, his buddy gets killed in front of him. He's gonna, and what do you think is gonna happen?
Y'all really talk about this like it's real. This is awesome.
Blake, it's only six.
He's like,
but look though,
he
it's
reads
only
articles about it.
it's
That's
only
awesome.
6 episodes. Like you should watch it. only 6 episodes.
I know. I've tried.
And then Richard, they did go through a point to where he's like, dude, like he's talking to his buddy, and he's like, yeah, every mission we've done, and blah blah blah. So they were expert killers, and
Yeah.
like even when they were sentencing him, saying he couldn't be Cap, like he's like, dude, like this is how you guys are gonna treat me,
Right.
like after all I've done for this country. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome that we watched the same show and have two different. We
Yeah,
saw two
that's
different
cool.
things.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I do have an appreciation for the fact that they made Sam Cap, which you kind of
Yeah.
seen coming from the get
Way
go.
to save
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
So
Well, it's 2021. There's
Yeah.
I watched one
Yeah,
episode.
man.
I was like, well, I know who's
Yeah,
going to
man.
be Cap.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're-
Well,
they
it
were
was
gonna get canceled.
for a minute. It was like, well, yeah. I mean, for a hot minute, I kind of did wonder if they were gonna pull something and make it Bucky.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah.
I was, because Bucky was Cap originally, after Steve originally. Yeah, whatever. So part of me was wondering, well, if they were going to pull some, kind of race thing where, because Sam was black, he didn't want to represent,
Right.
and
Right.
so he gave it to Bucky, and then Bucky was Cap. Like, I kind of was wondering if they were going to do some weird mental gymnastics with it, but I'm glad they didn't, because it's like, just keep going. And
Right.
yeah, so I don't know. And then the other thing that kind of was like, I was reading something, and they were like confused as towards the end of the show when the Isaiah guy was helping Bucky and Sam.
hmm
They were confused why Bucky would be okay with that. And I'm like, dude, Bucky has killed, like, Bucky's literally a mass murderer. Like, of course
Yeah.
he's okay with this dude coming to his side that,
Yeah.
killed one dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. His character
funny.
changed for me too because it got less serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of opened up, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Man, it's just funny. That's really is cool though that we watched the show differently, basically.
Yeah. Well, it just
Watch
kind
the
of,
same show.
I don't know. Like, it just really grated my nerves. I was like, oh my, really? This is what we're
Yeah. Yeah.
I got
Blake, have you your kids watch WandaVision?
I don't know.
That's a
Which
good
one's
one.
that one?
That's the one
There.
with
Speaking of kids.
witches and stuff.
I'm almost done. Okay, give me a couple more minutes.
Sorry, Blake.
No, you're good. I love it. I was actually going to add one more. So real quick on the I've been thinking about this all week. So when
Okay.
we were watching the UFC fights, right? Rose Nana Nunez or whatever her name is was fighting Wally Zhang or whatever.
Zhang, yeah.
She's Chinese, right? So all of us were in the garage. We're all watching. We're all into it. Like everybody in there wanted Rose to win, right?
Mhm.
So Rose ends up knocking this chick out, and we all just jump up. I think Dirty went to the TV, Easton went to the TV, Kevin jumps up, he goes to the TV, hands in his hair, hands on his head, turns around, and we just give each other the biggest hug.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that all week. How I don't know any other thing that I would do. And I mean, I always hug people, so it's not a thing. Like if I see Kevin, hey, what's up, buddy? I give a hug, right?
Right.
But there's very few things in life where you just turn to a buddy and just an excitement, you just hug
Right.
them, right?
Right.
And can you think of anything else? Like if one of you all told me that you guys were pregnant, I wouldn't your wife was pregnant, I wouldn't just oh yay, give you a big hug, right?
That's funny because even if I know you were going through something, I'd give you a fake side hug. That was just
A fake
"Wah!"
side hug.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That was
it's a celebration.
That's probably the only moment.
It was we literally just looked at each other. We were just so happy. We just had to hug each other, No
Right.
high five, just a hug. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. It was funny.
I literally, that's literally probably one of my top 5 sport moments was that. Because I
Dude.
associate that with also, Richard will know this. You remember when Mankind first won the title,
Oh, yeah.
the
Yep.
celebration?
Yep.
I felt like that was the same energy when Rose won this, in the interview, that was it was I wanted to cry too, she was
Dude.
literally, because I can associate it with stuff I tell my daughter and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
she was literally she's literally warming up, saying, "I'm the best. I'm about to do this.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. I'm the
I'm the
best. I'm the
best."
best." And like to watch her, like, because we know how much these fighters go through. To like, she's
Oh.
sitting there, she's taking the moment. All that hard work was all lumped into that right
Yeah.
there. Her emotions,
Everybody looking
it
at
was
you.
her emotions just breaking down. It just made you like. That's my favorite UFC moment for sure.
Yeah, there was something special. And for those that don't know, Rose fought for the belt and beat Joanna, who no one thought Joanna could get beat. So she won the belt, ended up losing the belt, and then came back and fought this other chick that no one thought was beatable and beat her. And she's the only female to ever win to win the belt, lose the belt, and win the belt. So, and just to see her emotions, and then it was just such a special moment. It was cool. It was fun. So,
Yeah.
So, all
Believe
right,
in yourself.
the boss of the house is telling me it's time to tuck her in bed. Come here.
He's about to come knock you out.
Kevin,
Huh?
if you haven't watched it on Amazon Prime, watch Invincible.
Okay.
I will. I gotta watch that.
Let's go, Patty.
I still gotta watch Mortal
Say
Kombat.
hi.
Oh, watch Mortal Kombat. Sure.
I heard that was really good. Easton was talking about that Saturday.
It was
Mortal
good.
Kombat.
It's a-
I'm about to watch that. I got a lot to catch up on. So,
Say hi, Kevin and Richard.
you going to bed? Or are you going to put Daddy to bed?
Huh? Why are you covering your face? Why are you so shy? Don't show your belly.
Don't get embarrassed
Say-
now.
Say bye, boys.
Bye.
Say bye, boys. You want to dance?
It's not.